Story. I didn't want to do a part 3 right after the part 2, so here's a regular one shot. The last thing Ochako thought she would see today was someone jumping off a building to his death. But here she was watching someone at the top of a building, looking down at the ground, placing one foot forward. No, don't, she yelled at the person, but it was too late. He put the other foot forward and now began to fall from the top, guaranteeing certain death should he come into contact with the ground. Ochako threw her bag down and ran fast at the boy falling. It was going to be close. She reached out for him and she had just barely managed to get a touch on him, causing him to float above the ground. Ochako looked at him, noticing his green hair and black uniform. He can't be much older than me, but what the heck is he doing trying to do something like that? She placed her hands together and let him down gently. The boy stared up at her in disbelief, shocked that someone actually cared enough to save his life. Although the girl looked pissed and she was about to let him have a piece of her mind. What the hell are you doing trying to kill yourself? Do you realize how dumb that is? Think about your family and friends. You would throw all that away. Why would you do something like that? She ranted off on the green-haired guy, who was still too much in shock to really listen to what she was saying. She wasn't going to let him speak until she was finished. Ochako was just too ticked. Don't you understand how selfish suicide is? Seriously, what were you thinking? Actually, were you even thinking at all? Huh? She went quiet and waited for a response. Quote dot dot dot. Why did you rescue me? He asked his own question instead of answering her question. She blinked twice before making a confused face. What? Shocked she was at his remark. Why didn't you just let me die? I'm not useful to anyone. I get bullied so much. I don't have any friends. My life is meaningless, and even my own hero squashed my dreams. So why did you save me? He asked, and he could see her getting ready to spill her mind. But tears began to pour down his face. It was now getting into his mind what he had just attempted to do, and he couldn't believe it. Are you joking? Why wouldn't I save you? You think I am just going to let someone walk to their death like that? He took a bit of a breather before continuing with a calmer voice. Look, I don't know you. I don't understand your situation, and what you do is none of my business. But I refuse to let someone die when I can save him. You say your life is meaningless, yet a complete stranger stopped to help you. I think that should speak for itself. She reached out her hand to him and helped him off the ground. Thanks. Nobody ever said anything so nice to me before, aside from my mother. Well, I shouldn't keep you. He tried to leave, but Ochako grabbed his arm and immediately let go from the contact. Listen, I'm not about to let you go off on your own. You could easily try to kill yourself again. I'm going to make sure you personally get home safe. She ran and grabbed her bag before coming quickly back to him. From now until you get home, I'm staying by your side. Ochako stood her ground on her words, and Izuku knew that it was pointless to argue with her. Sure. He was still surprised after everything, from him jumping to someone caring enough to save his life. He wasn't sure which one he was surprised more at, so lead on to your way home, and I'll make sure you get there. You said you have a mom, is she home? She asked, still feeling quite irritated, and it showed. Promoted stories. You'll also like. One shots BNHA discontinued. Stop request. 59.4K 439. Stop requesting. I will block you. Most of these are sad or have serious themes because I like reading and writing angst. I do not own BNHA or any of its characters. Bombshell Bakugo X Reader. 516K 13.1K. Love story, man. Angst, drama, tears, everything. Number 2 in Bakugok's Reader, the 5th of January 2020. Number 18 in Bakugo Katsuki, the 5th of January 2020. Number 5 in Bakugo Katsuki, the 8th of January 2020. Number 4 in Bakugo Katsuki, January 18th, 2020. Rewriting GX 851K 10.7K in quad. You're just a girl who's worthless in quad. And quad. Leave me alone. And quad. And quad. Why can't you see that? You're beautiful. Your quirk, your APPERANCE, everything. And quad. MHABNHA guys one shots. 15.9K 183. MHABNHA guys X reader one shots. No smut. SFW. Suggestions are welcome. We'll do head cannons. Enjoy. Ide fixed to the power of n. N to the power of n. 511K21K. UBEBETTERIFYOUWEREMINE dot. SSSSG. Number 1I. Midoriya Izuku. 16.8K 355. X reader one shot stuff from my Tumblr Hierophix. Check out my other books too. If you want to read more of my stuff, go check out my Tumblr in quad, Hierophix in quad. You can. Serendipity. MHAX Re. 26.5K 268. The universe has moved for us hard without missing a single thing hard. Our happiness was meant to be. Yeah, I think so. She doesn't have a job and I always walk home so she doesn't come to get me, he explained to her. Alright, good. Led on then, Ochako instructed. Izuku turned and started to walk in the direction of his home. He quickly remembered that he left his bag on the roof, but he wasn't going to bring that up. He would just get it at a later date. They walked in complete silence, only talking when Ochako asked if they were on the right track until they finally made it home. Izuku opened the door with Ochako right behind him, using a spare key he kept in his right pocket. Hey see, can we keep what I tried a secret? I don't think my mom could take it. He was really regretting his choice now. I don't know. Something like what you did should probably be told to your mom. What you did was serious and you may need some help. Ochako was not sure if she should though. Please, I really doubt my mom could take that news well, and she already has enough problems. Please just keep it between us, he begged for her silence. Okay, but I swear if I ever catch you again even thinking about it, I'm going to tell, she said. Thank you. He opened his house door and stepped inside. Mom, I'm home. He left his bag outside and called out, but he didn't get a response. He went into the kitchen and he found a letter saying that she went out to a friend's house. He went back outside to Ochako with the note and handed it to her. I see. Well then I guess I will have to stick with you until she gets back. Any clue when that could be? She asked, handing the note back to him. Unfortunately no, but it'd definitely be at least a while if she had to leave a note behind. He put it back inside. How about we have a talk if you don't mind? I want to try and understand why you jumped. Quote dot. She was curious as to what drove him to try suicide. I guess I owe you at least that. There's a coffee shop not too far that we could go to, he suggested, and he picked his bag up. All right, lead the way again, she instructed, and she followed him closely as he led the way to the coffee shop. Once they got there, he ordered himself a medium cup with several pumps of cream and sugar added in. He also paid for Ochako, who got a vanilla latte. Thanks, but you didn't have to pay for mine. She grabbed the coffee Izuku handed to her and took a sip. You saved my life. I think I owe you more than just a cup. He took a seat in a chair across the table from Ochako. I will accept this then. She took another sip before continuing her talk. So I really want to understand why you jumped. You said a few things before, but I doubt that's all, and you didn't explain it much. Ochako was more than ready to hear this. I'll be honest, it's honestly way more than one thing. And looking back now, I really regret even thinking about it, so I don't think I said this. But I'm actually quirkless. Fear felt through his body. Most people who knew that made fun of him, and he didn't want that again. But he had a feeling that wouldn't happen with her. Ochako was quite surprised to hear that. At this point in time, not getting a quirk was a rare occurrence, one that would get even more rare in the future. That's a bit shocking, and I'm sorry to hear that. She gave him her condolences. Thanks. You're actually one of the few people that hasn't made fun of me for it. Ochako felt more anger in her body hearing that he was being made fun of that. How much did people make fun of you? The cup in her hand was feeling the pressure of her hand, aside from a pinky. Quote dot dot dot. Almost every day. Nobody had a problem with me until they found out. It was mostly just verbal abuse and destroying a bit of my stuff. Memories of his past and present wasn't something he wanted to think about. Wait, mostly. What else did they do? Did they physically hurt you? Ochako couldn't believe what she was hearing. Izuku fell silent, unable to answer, which confirmed her thoughts. Damn it. That's absolutely uncalled for. Who are these guys? A punch to the dick is what she wanted to do to these bullies. Quote dot dot dot. One of them used to be my friends. Most of the others only do verbal, but he does more threats and physically stuff. Quote dot. He reached into his bag and pulled out his hero notebook that was mostly destroyed. Words couldn't begin to express what Ochako was feeling. This guy who seemed so innocent nearly killed himself because some people were being total dickwads. And honestly, it's not just that that's gotten to me. My father is at work overseas, so I rarely get to see him. I don't have a quirk in general, which upsets me by myself. But I think what really did it was, never mind, he decided not to tell her and he gazed away from her face. Please tell me, I want to help you as much as I possibly can, and that was genuine. You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Izuku himself still couldn't believe what had happened earlier. Which wouldn't be the only time he was surprised today. I promise whatever it is I will. So please tell me. She started to beg for the information he was holding back from her. Quote dot 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 dot. I ran into the number one hero All Might today. He came out with it. Ochako was surprised once again, but she knew there had to be a twist if he didn't want to talk about it. And I asked if it was possible for someone without a quirk to become a hero. He said it wasn't. He started to cry and he felt pathetic about it. Ochako was quite shocked that All Might would say that. Also by the amount of tears that was coming from him. Once that died down, she gave him some napkins to wipe them away. I'm shocked to hear that. That's not something that I would ever think he would say. Ochako felt a bit ticked off now at All Might. I told you that it's hard to believe. But yeah, it's true. But I don't blame him. He was only telling me the truth. Deep down he always knew it anyway. I don't think that's true. She slammed her hands down on the table, getting a few looks from other customers. I mean, look at it this way. There's a ton of pro heroes that have quirks that are not helpful in a fight. Heck, I even saw someone with a clown quirk. Was almost enough to make her laugh if she didn't feel bad for the guy. But I don't have one at all. Izuku was still surprised by this girl. And I'm sure you can be a strong hero if you work hard, and maybe not necessarily a fighter, maybe a rescuer. There's different kinds of heroes, you know, and honestly you seem like a great guy who wants to help people. I think that and a bit of hard work is all you need. Her words made his heart flutter. Her words touched him deeply and made him feel better. Thank you. He was beyond grateful for her words and support and everything else. I am just saying what needs to be said. Now how about we talk about something positive? Turning the situation to make him happier is what she felt like something she should do. Actually, I don't think we got each other's names yet. He wasn't sure when it was a good time to bring it up. Oh dang, you're right. I'm Ochako Uraraka. It's nice to meet you. She gave off a radiant aura. Aizuku Midoriya. He thought her name was cute. Geez, it's pretty weird we've met more than an hour ago and we're just now finding our names. She laughed a bit at the situation and Izuku followed suit. Ha, I guess so. So if you don't mind me asking, what were you doing before you ran into me? He finished off his coffee and put it in a nearby trash bin. I was just taking a walk. I actually moved to this town recently and I wanted to explore a bit since I'll be living around here for a bit. Quote dot. She explained and she threw her cup away too. Most of the coffee spilled on the table anyway from her fist earlier. Really, what caused you to move? He asked after getting some napkins. I'm going to try and get into the school of UA. As soon as she said that, Izuku's fav lit up like a torch. Really, that's actually what I was going to try to go to. He was surprised by this sudden plot twist. That's great. If we both get in, maybe we could have class together. A conversation began to pick up and they started to talk about heroes and junk for another hour before they decided to wrap it up. Ochako walked him home once again. Hey Uraraka, before I go I just want to say thank you for everything. Saving my life and being with me today. I haven't had fun like that in years. He was bummed out that his time with her was over. Of course, Midoriya, I wasn't going to let you die, and I'm always happy to make a new friend. Oh, by the way, here ya go. She handed him a slip of paper that she just wrote on. What is it? He asked, accepting the paper. My number. Give me a text and we can hang out again or maybe even train together, she smiled happily. Izuku blushed a lot and could only stare at the paper with his jaw open. Is something wrong? She hoped that she didn't creep him out. I have never gotten a GG girl's N number before, he admitted shamelessly. It just clicked inside Ochako's mind that it was her first time giving her number away. And to a boy, she too began to turn into a cherry. A awkward silence between the two for a few seconds. Well then I guess I'll see you later. Izuku placed a hand behind his neck as he began to sweat nervously. Haha, yeah, see ya Midoriya. She went away nervously and Izuku went inside his house. He slid down the door and slapped himself in the forehead. Idiot. Now she's going to think you're a weirdo and a freaking creep. Idiot, he thought in his hand as he kept slapping himself. Ochako was already walking back home, but she too was having thoughts. Dang it, Ochako, you made it weird. It was too soon to be giving his number, but I hope he does text me back. She blushed a bit thinking about it. She was happy she moved her. She saved a life, and even made a friend.